Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and on this video I'm going to explain a few of my thoughts why I'm disappointed with the Mac Mini. So if this is a subject that matters to you, stay tuned. Okay guys, so 2 days ago I watched the keynote Mac Mini, iPad, which I don't care about, but yeah, the iPad, and the iMac 5K Retina, which I'm going to record another video about the iMac, which I wanted to get it. I had my mind set up on the iMac, full spec'd out to replace my machine, but that's not going to happen, well, at least until I know a few more details, but I will explain that on the video about the iMac. Regarding the Mac Mini, my general feeling is disappointment, and I'm going to show you how, and I'm going to share with you some thoughts that if you are in the market for one, that might help you to get one or either don't get one, but hopefully it will help the brainstorm. Usually that's what my videos are about, especially to help try to get different ideas and then all the feedback from the community and all sorts. So that being said, let's go to the screen here, which I have the new Mac Mini late 2014, just released on 16th of October, and this is the options that we have. Let me add one thing. If you really need OS 10, then by all means consider what we are going to talk about. If you don't need OS 10, I will risk to say just right now, out of the bat, you have much better options outside of the Apple ecosystem. I do like Apple, I do like OS 10, I really need OS 10 to work. But in this case, my advice would be search something else, and I will give you an example, which I can give you now. If you go to Amazon or any other site, you will have this type of bare bones, which, if we click on this one here, for example, the Zotac, and if you see the specs, we're talking about 519 pounds. This is pounds. If we compare to the base model, we are talking about this is probably 600 euros, so more 80 euros than this, but you will get a lot more in terms of hardware. So once again, if you don't need OS 10, you should consider something like this. If we see the specs really quick, the only thing that it doesn't bring is this model, but you will have other models. Just look around. It comes with a great CPU for this kind of computer, the 4770R with Intel Irish Pro graphics, which is at this point is the minimum that you could expect from any manufacturer, Intel Irish Pro, and it comes with 16 gigabytes of RAM. And you don't have the hard drive and you don't have the operating system, but just drop another 70 euros or 80 euros, I'm not sure, and you will get a much powerful machine than this one here, even this one here. Well, all of them. You can't compare these specifications here, you can't compare. And the advantage is you can place your own hard drive there. Just choose the capacity according to your budget, and that is it. So if you are not in need for OS 10, just my advice at this point, to be honest, is run away from it. In the case of the Mini, there are other models that this is not my opinion, but regarding Mini, which is this video about, really disappointed with it. So that being said, let's go if you need OS 10 and if you must have a Mini, let's see the pros and cons here and what you expect. One thing that I would like to add, I've been getting this weekend a lot of questions about the Mini, because I had the Mini for 1.5 years, just sold it. Well, not sold it, I sold it during the summer. It was, I don't know, June, July, something like that. I sold it. And it was a great deal for the person that purchased it. It was a good deal for me. I used it for 15 months, something like that. It was brand new. Bought it for 800, sold it for 650. So for 15 months, let's say I rented a Mac for 10 euros a month, which is not bad. Renting a computer for 10 euros a month is not that bad. So not a loss at all. That being said, let's go back to our Mini. And where I was really disappointed is on the mid-high models. This I will not criticize. If you need OS 10 for I don't know, your mail apps, your iPhoto, your day-to-day usage, browsing and things like that, the entry model it's more than fine for those kind of things. Once again, if you need OS 10, it's actually, if you look at the base model, the new base model that was released in June for the iMac, if you look at the base model for the MacBook Air, specs are almost the same. Changes a little bit on the MacBook Air, which has an SSD, which I think it was something that they could add here and they didn't. One problematic thing is Mac Mini is no longer RAM upgradable by the user, so that's the main bummer, not to say any other word, but bummer. And you cannot, well, we are not sure how you can or not upgrade the hard drive to an SSD. If you can, well, not so bad. If you can't, 500 gigabytes regular hard drive, it's going to give you a crappy experience in nowadays that many people is used to SSDs. But looking at it, 519 euros for this kind of machine is it's what it is. For someone that needs OS 10, okay. For the basic usage, don't expect nothing special. And then more serious than that is you cannot replace your RAM. Sorry, I mean on the Portuguese side, but this is the RAM, as you can see. And if you want to upgrade the RAM to 8, there goes another 100 euros. If you want to upgrade to 16, 819 for something that it's just not worth it. Let's go back 1.5 years from today. Well, now a little bit more. When I bought my Nac Mini Late 2012, which was not new. I bought it in 2013, it was released in 2012. So for this price, 819 euros, I bought mine, sorry, I upgraded the RAM myself for about 100 euros. And I upgraded, well, I didn't upgrade because of the warranty, but it was really easy to upgrade the hard drive to an SSD. What I did, I used a external hard drive, which you can find on my video as well, on my channel, sorry. So I saved money and I got a machine which was CPU, for its tasks was CPU, was okay. It was an Intel i7 quad-core, 2.3, too robust at 3.3. Okay, so it was good. When I look at this machine, upgrading it to 16 gigabytes of RAM goes to 819 euros. It's just crazy. And then you don't have even an option for SSD. All you have is a Fusion Drive option, which it's not for me, Fusion Drive. I like to manage my own data, so no Fusion Drives for me. So all you can do here is spend another 250 euros and you are at 1,060 euros. When I look at this price, I have to compare it with the MacBook Air. Comes with an SSD, factory, the same specs, same CPU, same graphics. It's a laptop, you've got portability, and it's a much better experience. So I think you could, if you are pondering, I wouldn't spend this kind of money on this computer, but if you are pondering, check out the MacBook Air, which probably is going to be a best option. Just hook it up to a monitor when you need it, and take to the beach when you don't need to be hooked up to a monitor. So we are entering here prices that are really crazy, especially because Apple doesn't allow to upgrade RAM. I'm not sure about the hard drive yet. There's no, well, it's too early for benchmarks and for tier ups and things like that. I'm not going to be one of the, in this case, I'm not going to be one of the subjects, cobaias, as we say in Portugal. So we will have to wait and see. But as you can see, the price does not justify. So if we go here, a jump to the next model, it's a bit more balanced, but of course it comes at a price of more 200 euros. You still got a 1 terabyte regular hard drive, you got 8 gigabytes of RAM, and of course dual core and Intel Iris graphics. Let's select this one, and let's say that you don't need to upgrade the RAM. Let's say 8 gigabytes are okay. In this case, it's the one that I see a bit more balanced price point, and performance wise, it's the one that I would choose. If you are pondering Adobe Premiere or any other, well, Final Cut Pro, you might get away with it, but not really intensive. But if you are pondering video editing and motion graphics and things like that, just forget about it. It's not worth it for it. You will have other machines much more powerful than this, if not much powerful than this. So let's take a look here at the CPU. If you want an i7 dual core at 3.0, Turbo Boost at 3.5, you got to pay 300 euros. And these 300 euros, I would somehow expect at least a quad core, not a dual core. Because in here, if you upgrade the CPU, all you're gonna see on your favor, it's the higher clock rate. If you're doing multitasking works, nothing much will increase. So 300 euros, not at all a good deal. And then if you add 16 gigabytes of RAM, because you cannot upgrade it later, you're already with 1,200 euros. You are entering the prices of the MacBook Pro, and MacBook Pro will give you the same graphic performance, an SSD as well, will give you a screen, portability. So, you know, it's really confusion to me. Let's go back to the Mac Mini, to the worst case scenario. Well, I don't know if it's the worst, but in my opinion, let's select it and see what we have here. So you're gonna get a dual core. If you want to bump up the CPU, which is not worth it. Once again, all you're gonna get is a bump on gigahertz. In multitasking, you're not gonna get any advantage. It comes with one thing that it's good, Fusion Drive as standard, which means that when you upgrade to an SSD, the price will not increase. And probably being the worst case scenario, the most expensive one, this is something to consider. But once again, you are entering a price point of 1,000 euros barrier, which will make you take a look at another devices, even inside Apple ecosystem, and most probably the MacBook Pro, MacBook Air, MacBook Pro. But in this particular CPU, you would have to go to the MacBook Pro. So my disappointment is especially on the lack of a quad-core CPU. Well, I have to be honest. I really had hopes that the Mini was totally revamped, and those hopes were my dreams. But I had expectations to see a dedicated GPU. I was holding myself to see what it came, but that dedicated GPU, I was true to myself, saying that that's not going to happen, and it didn't. The quad core being eliminated, I didn't see that coming, and I think a lot of the users and a lot of passionate for the Mac Mini didn't see that one coming. So my disappointment is, especially, well, not talking about the GPU, but especially the quad core missing and the server missing. The server, you can buy the server edition of OS 10 and just install it in any computer, but the server would give you an advantage right out of the bat, which was it came with 2 hard drives. And the thing is, you just take one off and insert an SSD and you are good to go. So without having to buy any major tools and things to mess around. So that was a big advantage on the server for us. And for companies, I believe that it were advantage for when they stack up minis to work as a server farm or render farm or things like that. I think that was an advantage that disappeared. So major points: GPU. We didn't have a dedicated GPU, and we only had an improvement to the HD 5100, which is the Irish. I think they would gone, if they wanted to give a nice product, they could have gone to the Irish Pro, which is a big difference from the Irish. And the quad core, which I mentioned already, which is a bummer. Just out of curiosity, I sold my Mac Mini to a studio, music studio. They already had 2 Mac Minis, they needed another one. They didn't want to buy directly from Apple, so they could save a couple hundred of euros. They didn't save that much, they saved 150 euros. But nonetheless, it is a machine which is capable of multi-threading. It has 4 cores, 8 threads, limited because it's a mobile GPU, but nonetheless for audio productions and things like that, it worked great. The only major complaint that I had on my model was the GPU. GPU was not powerful enough for anything major, but that's what I expected on this upgrade. Better GPU, better CPU. What we get, a little bit better, well, okay, compared to HD 4000 better, but disappointment because it hasn't got the Irish Pro, and worse CPU, because if you go into the specs and search for the late 2012 model, you're gonna get way better CPU than any of these CPUs available here. So at this point, if you need something graphic intensive, this is not the way to go. And if you don't need graphics at all, but if you need a powerful CPU, even though if it's a mobile CPU, this is not it either. So what is this in the market for? Just basic functions, basic browsing, email, iPhoto, things like that. Don't expect much of this machine right now as it is. So 2 thoughts for you. If you just need for basic stuff, yeah, get the base model or the middle model and tweak it up at your convenience. Don't forget that the RAM is not upgradable, so if you need 16, you will need to pay Apple's price for crazy RAM. If you don't need OS 10, just skip this Mini and go something else. Or, my advice, if you don't need that much power on the GPU, like in the case of a studio music or studio production, you don't have to need to have a studio, just if you work at home. Go get, as fast as you can, go get a late 2012 model, which will fit you much better than any of these. If I knew this 3 days ago, I would advise everyone to get the top end late 2012, except for those that need GPU, which is my case, and that was the only reason I sold my Mac Mini. So if the gap between the Mac Mini and the Mac Pro, which are the two headless Macs. Headless, when I say headless, is without a screen. The two options. With the late 2012, the gap was big, especially on the GPU side, well, and the CPU as well, we can compare it. Now the gap, instead of being, it's way bigger. So, guys, really disappointed. My first experience with OS X was a Mac Mini. Most of you have seen my channel, and if you haven't, just search around. I've got 8 videos, I think, of the Mac Mini being tested on real-world performance. So my words is total disappointment on this Apple upgrade, which wasn't a real upgrade. It was just a revamp. And another thing, they give about 30 seconds attention to the Mini. I think it deserves a little bit more. Come on, Apple. At least a little bit of show off for the Mac Mini lovers. Now they say, hey, and we've got another thing to show you, which is this, which bam, 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 that's it. And I say, whoa, that's how important the Mini is for Apple. So I think the lovers, I'm no longer a Mac Mini lover. I'm really sorry to say this, I'm no longer. I was in love with the Mac Mini late 2012, late 2014, just forget about it. No, I can't give a sincere opinion, say, hey, go get one of those. No, it's not a good purchase. Just think about something else. And really honestly, if you don't need OS X, just run away from it. Run away from the Mini. They don't deserve the customers if they keep doing things like this. They don't. My opinion, of course, and you can write your opinion down there. As you all know, I try to answer all of them, and we are already almost with 10 minutes of video. I wanted to make this as short as possible, and as usual, I talk a lot. So guys, if you have any other questions that I can answer regarding that, I don't have the Mini, I will not buy the Mini, I will not advise anyone to buy the Mini unless they will need OS X once again. Great not seeing you, because I'm not able to see where you are now, but look forward to the next video. If you are interested in to know why I didn't buy the iMac 5K, just watch the next video. I think it's, well, at least my thoughts, it's interesting. I was ready to drop 3,000, between 3,000 and 3,500 euros. I was ready to drop on the October 16th, and I had really high hopes. And then I just keep the money on my wallet and say, let's wait a little bit more, because I'm not really sure what's that AMD R9 M295XR. So I'm not gonna put money on something that I'm really not sure what it is, because I can't find any info about that. That's for the next video. Thanks for watching. If it was helpful in some way, at least thinking in a different manner, good. Honest, go get a 2012 Mac Mini if you can, while you can, because they will run fast and disappear in really fast time. I can't sell mine because mine is already sold, but I think you will find a few online available. So guys, this is it. Bye bye. My name is Roberto George, and thanks for watching.